hello there. Did you just receive your Surat Pekililing Ikhtisas from KPM? Number 6, 2019? Not too sure what to do with it? Not sure what it's all about? Well, come in and let's talk about it. So, the main purpose of this letter is to inform all concerned parties regarding the implementation of the KSSM at the upper secondary level. It is also to inform all parties regarding the introduction of the subject package for all secondary schools in Malaysia, including special education schools. In addition to that, it also informs us of the inclusion of new subjects for the year 2020. Now then, let's have a talk about some history. The history about what you asked, the history about this letter and its background. But before we begin, let's get rid of this filter. The KSSM was introduced at levels starting from the year 2017, starting with Form 1 students. This is in line with the Pelan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia, or the PPPM 2013 to 2025. And within the PPPM, it is stated that the KBSM should be succeeded by the KSSM. Within the KSSM, there is a higher emphasis on 21st century skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, innovation, and leadership. This is so that our Malaysian students can be more competitive at the global standard. Then, the Ministry of Education is responsible for developing the potential of students based on their talents, interests, and abilities. This then happens via the implementation of the new subjects package. Upper secondary students are free to choose their combination of subjects based on their own interests and their own career choices. And since that's settled, that was the first page of the SPI. Now, I'll leave it to Long Sleeve Omar to take over from here. Thank you, Collar T-shirt Omar. And now, I am here to present to you the second and third pages regarding the SPI. So, for the first point of the second page of the SPI will be in terms of the interpretation of the KSSM. In interpretation, KSSM will be the national curriculum for all secondary schools in Malaysia which abide by the National Education System, as per allocated under Section 18 of the 1996 Education Act. Additionally, the KSSM is to be implemented via the DSKP, which stands for Document Standard Kurikulum dan Penaksiran. Now, moving on to the implementation of the KSSM. All subjects offered by the KSSM are to be taught and managed using the DSKP, including special needs education. Within this SPI letter itself, we have 3 attachments in total, and these attachments dictate to us and tell us how many minimum hours in a year do we have to cover for each KSSM subject. However, those timetables and attachments located in the SPI will be explained later in the video. Additional contents within the foreword of the letter include the fact that existing timetables can be used in schools, so as long as they abide by the minimum hours set by the KSSM and the DSKP. Also, an additional detail will be that civic education, although not exclusively mentioned in the SPI or the KSSM or even the DSKP, is to continue as normal. And lastly, perhaps the most important detail that's within the SPI letter would be when does the implementation of the KSSM start? To answer your question, the KSSM will start to be implemented in upper secondary schools starting from the first day of the 2020 school session. And now, we will move on to the first attachment contained within the SPI. The first attachment concerns the minimum hours per year for each subject under the KSSM for upper secondary subjects. Earlier we had mentioned at the end of attachment 1 that students are able to choose from electives. However, what are those electives? Now, here in attachment 2, we will be showing you those electives. They will be shown to you in the form of a table with the subject name and the minimum hours required per year. Enjoy! Now that we have covered what the KSSM entails in terms of its minimum hours per year for each subject, as well as the rotation of electives, now it's time to see how it all comes together. This will be shown and demonstrated in attachment 3. As mentioned earlier in the video, the KSSM introduced by the MOE is aimed to develop students' maximum potential, and this is done through the introduction of these new combination packages. In each combination, students must take principal subjects, compulsory subjects, and their choice of electives. Students are free to choose which electives they would like to sit for based on their interests, talents, as well as their plans for the future. Whatever career they have in mind, they can start planning from now. By right, all students must take all principal subjects, which include Bahasa Melayu, English, Science, Mathematics, and Agama Islam. However, exceptions are allowed. An exception for students taking pure science subjects, if they take any 2 pure science subjects, they need not take the science subject. And for students taking the Islamic Studies electives, if they are taking any 2 Islamic Studies electives, they do not need to take the principal Islamic education paper. And as such, with that, we can officially say that the KSSM is divided into 2 types of elective packages. We have your STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, as well as our Arts and Humanities package. This will be discussed soon. Even within the realm of the STEM stream, there are variations. As such, there are 3 possible paths, or like we are going to call it in this presentation, 3 possible packages that students can choose from. So, we will begin with the first one. For the first STEM package, or for the first interpretation of the STEM package, will be a situation whereby students take all 3 pure science subjects, including additional mathematics. Therefore, they will be taking physics, biology, chemistry, and additional mathematics, in addition to whatever electives they may want to take on top of that. So, here we can see the traditional pure science approach of having physics, chemistry, biology, and maths. In this second example, we have the traditional pure science subjects plus religious Islamic studies as well. And in this last example, we have the traditional pure science subjects with the addition of Seni Visual. And now, on to the second interpretation of the STEM package. In this STEM package, students must take at least 2 pure science subjects and additional mathematics. In addition to this, they can choose to take any applied science or technology elective, or they may even opt for any non-STEM elective of their choice. In this example, 2 pure science subjects and maths are taken with graphics.
This one too, we see the previous two pure science subjects, add maths plus engineering subjects. In this final example, we see the same three subjects at first, and instead we have sports science.
And now for the third and final interpretation of the STEM package. In this situation, students either take two STEM subjects from the Applied Sciences and Technology stream, or they may opt to take any vocational elective that is related to STEM.
This example, students take principal science plus computer science, design and art. For this example, students take both additional science and additional maths in addition to technical graphics. And lastly, students take all principal subjects plus science, design and production.
And now we have finished STEM. But now we need to talk about the Arts and Humanities package. But to talk about arts, we first need to look the part. For the Arts and Humanities package, students are free to choose any electives from the realm of languages, Islamic studies, literature, arts, and humanities. On top of that, students are free to choose at least one STEM elective if they would like to do so. However, this elective cannot be a vocational subject.
In this example, the student has taken one language elective and two Islamic study electives. For this one, the student has taken electives from literature, arts, and humanities. Finally, this student has taken all the art subjects with an inkling towards business, economics, and accountancy.
Also, as a footnote, it is emphasized that Sekolah Seni Malaysia is also included under this KSSM. This is because the arts means a lot to our country and they are not to be left behind. Overall, the KSSM has been introduced to encourage more students to stay in the upper secondary levels. These new packages and new combination options allows for more students to continue their studies at the secondary upper level. This is so that they can pave the way for their future careers based on their talents, interests and abilities. And with that, I'm Cikgu Omar signing off. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all in the next one another day.